let's do our review, shall we? All right, section 2, multiplying a monomial by a polynomial. Remember that the mono means 1, and the nomial portion, or the meal portion, I guess, is term. All right, so then polynomial, many terms. Okay, so when you are multiplying a monomial, so 1 term, by a polynomial, many terms. So if we did something along these lines, remember to use the distributive property and make sure you multiply everything on the inside by 3x. Multiply the numbers first. 3 times 4 gives you 12. X times x squared. So a little note over here, remember x times x squared is x to the first times x to the second, add them, x to the third. Alright, so we get x cubed plus 3 times 2 gives you 6, x times x, x squared. Alright, now remember that the factoring is backwards, so it's multiplying, factoring. They're opposites of one another. So if we go ahead and get rid of this over here, what we can do is do a little factoring problem. If I gave you let's do 40. That looks like a 46. Let's go ahead and fix that. 40x to the third plus 24x squared minus 12x. So first you find the GCF. Okay, what number goes into all of them? Well, one of the things we know that goes into all of them is 4, right? And then x's. How many do each of them have? They all have at least 1. Do they all have at least 2? No, because that one, there's only 1 there. So we can only take out 1x. So now we have 4x is our greatest common factor. Remember to divide everything in the beginning, so you end up with 10x squared plus 6x minus 3. And you know it's totally factored when everything in here has nothing in common. And we are good, factored. Adding and subtracting. Now, only like terms. Remember, add coefficients only. Okay? When you are adding, or I guess I can even add here, subtract. So add or subtract coefficients only. You don't change the variables, you don't change exponents, you don't do any of that. So if we were looking at this example up here, these two are not like terms. Alright, so we cannot combine them. Okay? Alright, now let's move on. Section 3, multiplying 2 binomials. Remember that binomials means 2 terms. So when we say we're multiplying 2 of them, then we have a polynomial with something plus something else multiplied by something plus something else. Okay, obviously the plus could also be a subtraction sign, but we're just saying that we have 2 terms. All right, we have 2 methods. Are you even ready for this? Are you even ready? First, box method. And second, FOIL. Woohoo! Aren't you excited? So first I'm going to show you the box method and then I'll show you FOIL. But what I want you to remember is that these are using the same thing. You come to the same answer. So use whichever one you feel more comfortable with. So let's do it. Find the product of x minus 4, x plus 2. So remember here, 2 terms, binomial. Here, 2 terms, binomials. Okay, so we have 2 binomials. All right, so box method. We are going to write our first binomial over here on the side of the box. We're going to put x here, and we're going to put minus 4 there. Okay, then we're going to take our second binomial here and write it across the top of the box, x, and then plus 2. All right, so let's go ahead and do our multiplication. One we're going to do is multiply x by x to get x squared. X times 2 gives you 2x. Negative 4 times x gives you negative 4x. And then we have negative 4 times 2, which gives you negative 8. And just wait for it. Check this out. Are you even ready? X squared plus 2x minus 4x plus 8. Oh no, I ran out of room. I'm sorry, that's a minus 8, not plus anyway. So, I gotta fix it. Doot, doot, doot. Pretend that didn't happen. Minus 8. Yeah, I got to fit. All right, now, if you look at this, we do have like terms here. We've got our middle two right there. Like terms. All right. You will not always have like terms. It's very common, but not always. So just make sure you're always checking, do they have the same variable combination and same exponents? All right, so when we finish writing our answers, you always simplify. You combine your middle terms, and voila, ladies and gentlemen, we have used our box method to multiply those two binomials. Now, the importance of using this method is what you're doing, and what we've done before, we use the distributive property, but what we're doing now with this method is it's just helping us remember to use a distributive property correctly. We're still distributing because if you look, you are still taking x from the first term and multiplying it by x from x from the second, and then taking x from the first and multiplying it by 2 from the second, and then again taking this term, multiplying it by x, and then taking negative 4 and multiplying it by 2. So everything that should be multiplied is getting multiplied. FOIL. First of all, here's what FOIL means, okay? F is for first term, and you know what? I should do this vertically, give you some more room. Sorry. All right, so FOIL. F is for first terms, or first term, and that's inside the parentheses. O is outer term, so the complete outside of the whole problem. I is inner term, and that's the inside of the whole problem, and then L is last term, which is on the very ends of the parentheses. Okay, so if we use our FOIL method, the F would give us this term here is first, and that term right there is first. So 2r times r, which would be 2r squared. All right, now we move on down and do our O, outer. Our outer terms are outer of the whole problem. So outer, outer. So that's 2r times 3 to give you 6r. Remember, you can multiply anything, all right? So don't get confused. You can only add like terms, but multiply whatever you want. Inner, the ones right next to each other, right there. So negative 5 times r, so that gives you minus 5r. And then we have our last L, and last means last of each set. All right, so L here, L there. So we have negative 5 times 3, negative 15. Okay, now if you check out what we've got going on, we have our final result, 2r squared plus 6r minus 5r minus 15. Now we'll refer back to our first section of combining like terms. Simplify 2r squared plus r minus 15. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is your answer. So either one, whichever you feel more comfortable with, you go ahead and do. All right? So finding the product. I just put multiply because it's entirely up to you. What do you feel comfortable with? What do you want to do? And actually, I think I'm going to show you this one instead. I'm going to skip the last one because this has x's and y's, and I want to show you what that will look like. If you would like to work on this problem right here, I can tell you the final answer will be 12p to the third minus 4p squared plus 6p minus 2. None of these are like terms. It is totally simplified, so there's no like terms. All right, so we're done. That's it right there. So if you want to go ahead and do that problem, at least you can check your answer, see if you got it right. All right, so this one, I'm going to go ahead and use FOIL. I'm partial to FOIL. I think it's easy. I'm not quite the visual person, but if you are, you go ahead and do it. All right, so that's first terms, outer terms, inner, the ones next to each other, and then we have last in each set. So starting with first, 6x squared times 2y. Remember, you can multiply anything by anything. So 6 times 2 would give you 12, and now you have x squared y attached. Go to your outer. 6x squared times a negative 4x. Multiply your numbers, negative 24. Now you have x's. X times x squared. Same base, add the exponents, x cubed. Onward, I. Our inner terms, 2 times 2y. We get 4y. And then, last but not least, L. We have 2 times a negative 4x, which is a negative 8x. So when we go to write our whole final result of all of this crazy mad business, we have 12x squared y minus 24x cubed plus 4y minus, oh, I'm going to run out of room, minus 8x. Sorry, it should all be in one line. I just ran out of room over here. Anyway, so there you are. No like terms. Nothing looks exactly the same. X squared y, there are no others of those, and so on for the other ones. Totally simplified, nothing else you can do. Now, if you did the box method, you would have, it would be set up like this. And if you would like to do it this way, 6x squared here, 2 here, 2y here, and negative 4x there. Okay? And then go through, do your multiplying, and then you'll end up with this. Okay, now, muy importante. Yeah, that's right. Bring it in Spanish. Sorry if you're a French person. My bad. The FOIL and box methods are just modifications of the distributive property. We're just using the distributive property. All right? That's all we're doing. That's all we've done before. We are just continuing it. The only difference, we're not multiplying one term by several. We have 2 to multiply by more. So you make sure that everything gets multiplied. So if you look through, we're taking the 6x squared and we're multiplying it by 2y. We're also taking 6x squared and multiplying it by the negative 4x. So we have distributed this 6x squared. Okay? So, now, this one. If you look at this, we've got a binomial here, trinomial here. No box or FOIL. None. Nope, can't do it. No way. No how. All right? So what we do, take this x, you distribute, all right? Distribute it to all of the terms. That's where we're going to start first. So distribute x. Here's what you get. You get x to the third minus 2x squared plus 4x. Okay, now we distribute that 3 to everything also. All right? So after we've distributed the 3, what we ended up with is 3x squared minus 6x plus 12. Now combine like terms. All right? Now when you're combining them, Remember, adding doesn't change the object itself, so look at only like terms. 3x squared, negative 2x squared. So remember, x squared is an object. How many of that object do we have? And then in the next one, we have a positive 4x and we have a negative 6x. So those are like terms. Now our oddballs here, x cubed and plus 12. They will not combine with anything. So x to the third does not change. Now we combine our purple like terms to become plus x squared. All right, then we combine our lighter blue color, negative 6, positive 4 would be a negative 2x. And then we just have our last term to be plus 12. Now we have no more like terms. This is the answer, totally simplified. Cool, right? This is so easy. Hey, well, that's it. Simple, yes. Okay, ask me some questions. What do you want to know? And we'll take care of it in class tomorrow. Okay, see ya.